Hello, Internet! My name is Catherine Barsonistas, and you are watching The Gluttonous Geek Presents Munchies and Minis, a Dungeons & Dragons inspired cooking show where I first make a snack inspired by Dungeons & Dragons or various tabletop role-playing games, and then work on painting a mini. We are back after, well, I guess not really a full week's break. We are actually getting caught up on all of November's recipes. Starting actually later this week, I know that we usually do Munchies and Minis evening. I will be having the Munchies and Minis holiday special, where we'll be doing just one recipe inspired by Dungeons & Dragons. We do three, inspired by three different Iranian holidays from the setting. Today's recipe, however, we are continuing on with Ryan Reese's 52 Weeks of D&D Fan Art Challenge, and doing the challenge word luck. Now, where I was going with this is, as you can see from the title of the video, is Tymora's Snowbread. Tymora is another goddess that we haven't really quite featured yet on the show, from the Faerunian campaign of Forgotten Realms. I think I might have just said that. Oh well. And she is the goddess of luck, and is usually favored by thieves, bards, any kind of roguish types. So today's recipe is taken from one of her patron cities, the city of Arabelle, which she herself defended during wartime, like centuries ago. So in the city of Arabelle, there is a tavern called the Weeping Man Tavern, or no, Hungry Man Tavern, not having to make TV dinners like you would so think, but a community gathering area where they would serve one of Arabelle's main exports, which is called Bitter Black. It is a dark, bitter black beer. And for that, I'm going to be using a dark beer, Sweetwater 420's Chocolate Stout, to be precise. Mostly because apparently Kroger and Georgia does not like to carry dark beer at the moment, but does have a little bit of bitterness to it from its chocolate and coffee notes. That's why we're going to be using that. But there's another dish from the Hungry Man called Snowbread. Known by, it's mentioned by Elminster, if you might remember him from the Forgotten Realms book series. He mentions that it is a sweet roll, very molasses, name from the amount of sugar that's in it, but also from its kind of egg white sauce, like sweet sauce and powdered sugar that's on top of it. So we are going to be making a take on cinnamon sweet roll using beer, a beer-based cinnamon sweet roll with kind of an Italian-style egg cream sauce, egg sugar sauce. And we're going to be trying to top that with some shimmer powder and some powdered sugar. So that should be pretty tasty. And so first we're going to be making you will need about 3 1/4 cups of all-purpose flour. To that, we are going to be mixing in about a 1/4 cup of brown sugar. And let's see here, baking powder and baking soda. You're going to need 2 teaspoons of each. So there's 1. Baking powder, and 2. And baking soda, which I've still not yet taken out of the fridge. And of course, it is hiding behind the chocolate sauce, like it do. Okay. So, 2 teaspoons of baking soda. You'll be needing a teaspoon of granulated salt. I know that I normally use kosher salt on my show, but with baking, you want to bring out the table salt. Just because chemistry. Kosher salt and table salt do have different levels of salinity, and they dissolve differently. So we are going to stick with table salt for this particular recipe. Then you're going to be whisking this whole bit together instead of shaking the bowl like I was about to do. Don't mind me, my brain is not fully here. And to that mix, we're going to be adding 2 ingredients. One, like I said, the Chocolate Stout from Sweetwater 420, or whatever dark sweet beer that you can get your hands on. You'll need about 12 ounces, so a standard beer bottle should do you just fine. And we're going to be using some browning sauce to add a little bit of color to our dough, so it appears kind of a darker brown. Even by adding this beer to all-purpose flour, it's still not going to be that nice kind of rich, deep brown color that you like to see in certain types of pastries. So browning sauce, you can find it in pretty much every grocery store, often used to make gravies, kind of that deep, rich brown that you see a lot of times, especially in food photos. There's not really much flavor to it, so don't worry about affecting the flavor too much. You can also see it in one of my friend's recipes, Pixelated Provisions, Victoria. She wrote the Fallout official cookbook, and it is used in her Nuka-Cola recipe. So just kind of something to keep in mind there. So, right, we are going to add a teaspoon of that browning sauce. Kind of shake that in there. As well as that 12 ounces of beer. Okay, so next I just need to stir that together with a spatula. Seriously hope that was 12 ounces. I'm gonna just guess it is. Now, if you need to add a little bit more flour to the mix, feel free, because you still want to make a dough from this. And see how it's getting that nice rich brown color from the browning sauce? In fact, I might add just a little bit more to that. I think I might add another teaspoon. Go. That's a decent batter, but we are going to need it to be a little drier than that. So I am definitely going to need some more flour. I will be right back. I'll just keep talking as I grab some more flour from the pantry. What I have right now is pretty sticky in its liquid content, but also anytime you make any baked recipe or just cook anything, your ingredients will differ. That is just the nature of cooking in general. Not everything is going to be perfect. I mean, you can try to measure as much as you can, and really, ideally, if you have a kitchen scale, you can weigh that. I do not have a kitchen scale, and I have not tested it with a kitchen scale. So, yeah, as you can see, it's pretty sticky, so just going to kind of add some more flour to the mix. I just kind of stir that in. I mean, not overwork it, but enough so it kind of absorbs that flour and loses that overly stickiness, making it a little easier to handle. Oh yeah, that's still pretty sticky. And what I'm doing is just kind of kneading with the spatula here to work into the dough, but also to let my baking powder and soda activate. Allowing air into the dough. So it's still pretty spongy when we bake it up into our sweet rolls. I mean, I'm gonna have to roll this out anyway. So, if you're going, holy crap, that's a lot of flour, no, it's gonna be fine. Just want it to stick as little as possible in putting this together. Okay, just stick that in there for now. Looks like the top is definitely getting its magic there. But yeah, nice thing about this recipe is that I'm going to be filling it with a mix of butter, walnuts, brown sugar, and a couple of spices that you would normally associate with the holidays, such as cinnamon, nutmeg, and I've got cinnamon, nutmeg, and clove ready to go in that mix. So it's going to be a little bit like a cinnamon roll, but a little crunchier and have a little bit more variety and flavor than a standard cinnamon roll. Okay, see, that side's workable. I just have to get this last bit, which is still pretty sticky here. Now, I am excited about Wednesday's episode of Munchies and Minis, where I'm going to be covering 3 different Favoritian holidays with 3 different recipes. One inspired by the goddess Meliki for a meatball recipe with a lingonberry glaze. And it's going to be a beef and mushroom meatball. Well, meatballs, plural. The next dish is fashioned after the Ice Goddesses festival, where hardly anything is cooked with heat. So I'm going to be making a winter ceviche. I haven't quite decided if I'm going to use grouper or halibut with that. I mean, granted, around Waterdeep, you're more likely to find halibut, but I mean, I figure that for that festival, they probably want something that works a little bit better at ceviche. And, I mean, hey, you can always hire a wizard to cast ice on your fish as soon as you catch them, so kind of a magic flash freezing, so to speak. Okay, I think our dough is just at the point where it's no longer that annoying. Well, just a wee bit more. There we go. Okay. Hey! You're not supposed to be all that sticky, dang it. Okay. Okay. That will do for now. So I'm going to try to do this thing to make it requires a little bit less cleanup than I need rolling stuff out. Mostly because I hit my prep board with cleaning solution afterwards and get this weird kind of nasty flour paste. Just, it's not fun. So we're going to take a little bit of a tip from Alton Brown. Just a little bit. I mean, you can do this with a, what's it called? Sorry, my brain just kind of froze on me. Like, you can do this with a plastic Ziploc bag, or you can use like freezer paper like I'm doing, or parchment paper. The whole idea is that we have a space that's just, but also a space that I can then cover the dough with, so it doesn't stick to my rolling pin, and then I don't have to wash the rolling pin. Yes, I am lazy. Get over it. Okay. Just gonna turn out our dough here onto our freezer paper. Okay. Cool. Just throw that into. Just gonna add a little bit more flour on top so it doesn't stick. Okay. Next up, gonna take some more. And then it is torn. And then stick that on top of my dough. Sorry about that, guys. I meant to do that, I guess. Do not need my whisk, but I am gonna need my rolling pin. This is especially handy if you happen to have a lot of other holiday baking you're planning on doing and don't really have time to keep on cleaning your surface, the top of your surface, as well as your rolling pin. So, just gonna roll that into, that did not work at all. Well, that's embarrassing. Well, at least this is still clean. It's still massively sticky. Okay. Note to self. That side does not work. However, let's see how this side works. Glossy side works. Does it work? No, that also sticks. So, plastic wrap is usually better. That is the lesson we have learned today. Okay, this is a little bit of an experiment. Okay. I mean, I essentially want a rectangle of eating this. Okay. Okay. Oh yeah. Let's see how I do with some cling wrap. Let's see how that does. That should work a little better, I think. Where'd you go? Here we are. And you want it so it's about, I want to say about 1/2 inch thick. And kind of shape it into a rectangle as you go. All right, cool. So I'm just gonna move that for now. Somehow. And go over here for now. So you can see that is also the advantage of doing that on plastic wrap or parchment paper. So now I need to make my filling. So for that, I'm definitely going to need a larger bowl. Just realized. We'll use this one. Okay. So first you'll want a half a cup of butter, which is roughly a stick. Well, not roughly a stick, it is a stick if you're going by American butter. And it needs to be just gonna add that to that. Needs to be room temp for the most part, just softened. So, to that, me adding another 1/4 cup of brown sugar, as well as, let me just go ahead and get this stuff off my hands for now, so I'm not making a mess. Clean myself off, and idiot me realized I haven't preheated the oven yet. So, just go ahead and take care of that. Let's see, it needs to be at 350 degrees Fahrenheit. I'm just gonna put it on convection for right now so it heats up a little faster. I'll switch it over to the regular bake cycle as soon as I'm done with that. Okay, so filling. I need to totally rewrite my measurements here. Let's go with a teaspoon of cinnamon, nutmeg, clove. All right, cool. So, just gonna be taking a 1/2 teaspoon here. That way I'm keeping everything for the most part clean. And you will want to add a 1/2 teaspoon of ground nutmeg. A full teaspoon of ground cinnamon. And a 1/2 teaspoon of ground clove. Of our filling, this I am going to be using a Ziploc bag for, because otherwise it can not only get messy, but kind of dangerous. So, I'm going to need about a 1/2 cup of crushed walnuts. Most of the time, you are not going to be able to find your walnuts all that terribly finely crushed. We need it finely crushed. Yes, you could cut it. Yes, you could throw it in the food processor. But my favorite way, and the way I see it, most efficient way that requires the least amount of cleanup, is to smash it with a hammer. So, the way I see it, it's also the dwarven way. also, walnut pieces, you can see they're pretty darn large. So I'm just going to, see, we're going to need about a half a cup of these finely crushed. I'm just going to add a sizable handful or two to this bag. See, I've got a cork trivet here. You want cork or some kind of silicone rubber, as long as it's about and can take that kind of shock to it when you smack it, because we're going to be using a kitchen mallet here in a second. Pushing all the air out of the bag here. To not damage your countertop. First, I need to find where the heck did my kitchen mallet wander off to. No, it's in here. It's in here somewhere. Yes, I did just kitty call my kitchen mallet. Where'd my kitchen mallet go? Someone been messing around in my kitchen again? Ah, stay. It's very likely. That's a pizza maker. Aha! Kitchen mallet. Yes. Here we go. So, as you can see, it smashes easily. I'm going to go ahead and mute the microphone for now, so that is not hurting your ears. So, muting now. And you can also see that I fingers away as far as I could away from the hammer here. Just only making shallow hits, that's really all you need. Walnuts are pretty soft enough as it is that you don't necessarily need to strike all that hard. So I just need to measure out how much I have. I'm going to need a cup. That is a half a cup. Sweet. All right, so I've got my cup of walnuts. Just gonna throw that in there with my butter, sugar, and spices, and take another spatula. At least once I find where my other spatulas went. Spatula, haha. And I'm just gonna kind of push into that. And ideally, you want your butter a bit softer than this. I mean, I might actually throw this into the microwave for about 10 seconds. As long as it's not a metal bowl, you should be fine. So, I'm just going to do that for a little bit. Let's see, high for 10 seconds. 4, 3, 2, 1. See how that's looking. See if that's softened up any. Oh yeah, that's definitely softened up more. I think I might need it just a little bit more softened so it spreads easily on my dough. So I'm just gonna throw that in for another 10 seconds. And open up another beer. 4, 3, 2, 1. And you really do want to go slow on that because Butter melts pretty quickly in the microwave, but also the sugar might caramelize before you get it fully mixed in, and you just don't really want to do that. And as you see, it's making a nice paste here. Nice spreadable paste. I'm just going to keep mixing. And our oven is preheated. Just going to switch back to the regular bake. That is definitely tasting mostly of clove, and I like it. Okay. I believe that should be enough. Just going to steal some walnuts here. Oh. Okay. Cool. So, now that I've got my filling together, I need my dough pack. What the? No. Stay. Okay. Will this let me roll it? Oof. We'll see. You know what I'm actually tempted to do? Here's hoping it won't fall apart on me. Two, three. Ha-ha! Okay. I guess this is going to be a pain in the butt otherwise. Yep, need a new spatula. But I recommend you do that at home. Just only if you do something stupid like me and put the dough on freezer paper first. Yes, it was a dumb mistake. And what do we do with mistakes? We learn from them. Is it ideal? Not really. But we shall make this work, dang it. I believe in myself, kind of. Okay, come on. Alright. Haha. I solved the sticking puzzle, kind of. Alright. Cool beans. So, I'm just going to add flour to that to keep it from sticking too much here. And like I said, the goal is to form a rectangle. Okay. Haha. I have done the thing. Success, kind of. Okay. Just kind of reforming my rectangle. Cool. All right. Now it's time to spread my filling. So this stuff's kind of like dough in itself. Just kind of putting it in dollops on here. Spreading that evenly. Well, as evenly as I possibly can, considering that this stuff's pretty thick as it is. It's kind of like dough. Its own dough. Just want to make sure it is covering as much of this as possible. All right, cool. Just gonna use the paper to guide me as I now roll this all up. All right, so we have created a roll. Just gonna wrap that up real quick in my plastic. Squish it up a little bit. And now I need to prepare my pan. So let's just get that in the sink. And I'm just gonna take a 9-inch diameter cake pan here. There we go. Sorry about that, guys. Battery went out. Man, these batteries are losing they're losing their life pretty quickly. Maybe if I move this over. Not sure. Okay, as much as I hate this to do this, I'm just gonna have to switch to my webcam mic. I know the sound is horrible. I do apologize for that, guys. But yeah, I clearly need to replace this pathetic excuse for a microphone. Sorry about that, guys. Well, yeah, let's go ahead and switch. See if I'd still. Yep, that's still being stupid. Let's go ahead and switch back to our main thing here. I'm going to be adding an egg yolk to my pan here. I will need a tablespoon of powdered sugar and my instructions on how to do this. As well as a tablespoon of that beer. Actually, I think I'm going to do a double recipe of this. I want enough. This will double in volume. And I want enough to cover my snowbread when it makes up. Just going to take a quick look to see how it's doing. Oh, that is looking beautiful. Oh, it smells so freaking good. Okay. So that's another. Ooh. Oh, my egg broke on me. Another tablespoon of beer. Okay. Let's toss this egg, unless it'll let me take it out. Okay. Luckily, I think this egg was not broken about 5 seconds ago. So I'm gonna try not to be a dumbass and put the egg white in my sauce and separate my egg white and yolk first. Okay. And get that yolk into my saucepan. Now this is a type of Italian egg white sauce. It's often used as a light glaze, egg sauce. And it's also described in Forgotten Realms as topping snowbread. So yeah, I just need to, let's see, bring it to a simmer on very low heat while whisking vigorously. So, first, all right. Just going to continue to drink my beer. slowly bring your feet up. It's more foamy at this point than anything else, admittedly. Oh boy. Let's check my Snowbread really quick. That is smelling heavenly. So it still has a little ways to go, so I'm going to put it in for another 4 minutes. Okay, our sauce is complete. It was delicious. Just gonna add another bit of powdered sugar to sweeten it up some. And it is definitely come together thick, ribbony, and definitely doubled it in volume. Just add a little bit more sugar. That was good. Definitely has that beer flavor to it. Just gonna set that aside for now. And clean up a little bit in my kitchen. And here's the next part I really wanted to do. I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to. I mean, I need some time to let the thing cool off, so I'm going to have 2 minutes left on that. I'll be right back. I just need to get my serving plate. I've got some options as far as the serving plate is concerned. I kind of wish that camera worked. Let's see. Okay, it looks like this will fit my ice plate. Well, that will not. So, we'll just use ice plate. Okay. Just pull this out of the oven so you can take a quick look. It should be finished by now. Just going to take a toothpick to it. See if it'll come out clean. Oh yeah, that's perfect. Okay, cool. So now I just need to set a timer for 5 minutes. What's my sauce doing? Awesome. Okay, timer for 5 minutes. Turn my oven off. And I need to make my decoration. So I'm just going to find some parchment paper in here. And then use the bottom of one of these pie cake pans as my guide. Now, another reason why I went for Snowbread is that this is very much a holiday recipe, or it can be. I'm going to take that pan, see if you can what I'm doing here. I'm going to just put since I lost my main craft space, I'm just going to lower the camera so you can see what I'm doing here. Just move this out of the way because it's now useless. And I'm sorry I'm having all the tech problems tonight. Maybe I need to put a new camera on my wish list, or not a new camera, new microphone setup on my wish list on Amazon or something. So, just going to trace. That was a horrible trace. I need to use a different pen. One that works on parchment paper, preferably. Maybe, will you work for me? Good lord. Today I learned that ink does not work on parchment paper. Or none of my pens work. Okay, maybe this dry erase marker will work. Okay, good. We will use that. Okay. Okay. Yeah, it comes right off the pan. Excellent. Alright, so now I'm just going to... Where did my scissors go? Scissors! Haha, here we go. Just need to cut that circle out. Okay. Now, before you wonder whether or not I'm going to hurt myself, seriously, no, this is not going in the oven. I am creating a template to decorate the top of our Snowbread once it's finished. What is Snowbread? Okay, so Snowbread is from the Favoronian city of Erebor. Faerun, as in from the Forgotten Realms campaign setting in Dungeons & Dragons. It was this little city that the goddess of luck, Tymora, herself defended during one of the wars. And since my D&D challenge word this week is luck, I decided to honor the goddess of luck herself by making a dish from her patron city. So there's this tavern in Arabelle called the Hungry Man Tavern. And one of the things served there is Snowbread, which is kind of a sweet roll that is full of molasses and nuts and dried fruit, and gets its name from the amount of sugar and white flour that's in it, but also from its topping of white egg sauce, sweet white egg sauce, which I've made this Italian take on that right here, which is going to go on top. Which actually I think done cooling now. Got 15 seconds left on that cool, so I'm going to go ahead and bring that over. It's the egg white sauce, but also being topped with powdered sugar, so it looks like it's topped with snow. So I decided, since there's also a couple things, other things from Arabelle in that Hungry Man Tavern. One of Arabelle's main exports is called Bitter Black. It is a type of dark beer. I think I like the top of it a little bit better. Can I invert it back? Yeah. Yeah, but I want to invert it that way. We shall do it two ways. One on a large plate, one on a small plate. Oh, come to think of it, the design's going to lay better if I do it that way. We shall make this work. Not to worry. Invert it this way to a regular plate. Next, invert it back onto my serving plate. Cool. So now I'm just going to top that with my sauce. I can find myself a spatula that works. But yeah, so what I made was essentially a dark beer based sweet roll. Topped with another beer based icing. And granted, the beer sort of turned this sauce a little bit more yellow than white. But that's also why we're going to top this with some powdered sugar to look like it's topped with a snowflake. So I'm just making that snowflake now. So I've already made a thing of circle of parchment paper. I'm now going to fold and turn into a paper snowflake. What's the icing made out of? It is made out of powdered sugar, egg yolk, and beer. Yeah, the filling on these rolls is actually a mix of butter, crushed walnuts, cinnamon, nutmeg, and clove to kind of give that sort of holiday flavor. Okay, so got my pretty snowflake here. Let's see if I still have my flour sifter somewhere. Yes, I do. Now my flour sifter's broken, but at least it has the mesh still on it. So I can use it how I need to. Some powdered sugar, which is somewhere. Here we are. Thank you. Now, the big thing with running a food blog is trying to figure out how to add a visual element that will still taste good. And I will say, some of the most delicious stuff in the world looks like a bowl of mush. But admittedly, it's not the most appealing to see a bowl of mush in photos. And you can see I'm going absolutely crazy with this powdered sugar. That's okay. All right. Let's see how we do. Other plate ready. Just kind of quickly. That did not work. Okay. Maybe I'm going about this all wrong. And I'm super tempted to just cover the whole thing in let's see here. Well, it looks interesting enough. Guess the holes weren't quite large enough to get that to stick. See if I can get to match it back up. Alright, let's try this again. I do declare, I hope that tomorrow's Snowbread will get some Minotaur Sunrise to go with it. It will at some point, Abe. In the meantime, my coworkers are just going to have to enjoy the fruits of my labor. Okay, that does look much better. Not fully like a snow cake, but it still looks pretty darn festive. So, there we go. Tymora's Snowbread. swear I'm going to be making my coworkers fat this week. Of course, I'm going to be one of the people that get fat as well, so no arguments there. Now, unfortunately, I was going to do some painting tonight, but, well, I'll just show you. I'll show you what happened. As you can hear, my microphone is, well, the sound's kind of off. Because the microphone decided to crap out during the middle of the stream, and it's on. It's just not, the signal's not connecting, so I had to turn my mic on my camera. So yeah, as you can see, there's my Snowbread, which is pull apart because it's essentially kind of a sweet take on, I guess, kind of different take on a cinnamon roll, kind of a beer bread cinnamon roll. And let's see here. However, don't worry, I will at least show you what I've been working on. I, for the most part, finished the Baby Yoda Christmas ornaments. There we are. So, I'm just gonna show you these little guys. My husband has a 3D printer, and we found a Baby Yoda holding a Santa hat and present file. So I've been hand painting these for gifts for friends. So that's going to be going to a couple of my friends. I will also have, well, thank you, Abe. Yeah, I will also have, I think on my next episode of Munchies and Minis, which is this Wednesday, by the way, I'll be making 3 different recipes, all inspired by Bayverdian holidays from Dungeons & Dragons. One is going to be a lingonberry glazed meatball made from ground beef and mushrooms. One is going to be a winter ceviche. And one is going to be a cookie inspired by Sidril. Well, Cyril or Sidril, it's kind of the Festival of Stars around the same time as all of these various other holidays. So I will be having 3 different recipes for Munchies and Minis this Wednesday evening from 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. Eastern, probably even a little later because I will be making 3 recipes. But I'm also going to do a little bit of a giveaway for people just on my channel, where I will be doing a giveaway of some metallic painted Baby Yoda Christmas ornaments. So if you want to get a chance at winning one of those, please come and join me this upcoming Wednesday, well, 2 days from now. So if you want to win a Baby Yoda to put on your holiday tree, whatever that happens to be, or whatever holiday that happens to be for, tune in. Yeah, like I said, I wish I had more time, or I wish my camera would actually let me paint, but here, let me just show you what happened with my prep cam. That's what happened. See, can I request Steve Buscemi eyes for mine? I will. If you win that Baby Yoda, Abe, you could totally get some Steve Buscemi eyes and terrify everyone who happens to look at your Christmas tree. But yeah, as you can see, my prep cam froze in the middle of baking those rolls earlier. So that will not be, unfortunately, will not be on my, goodness. I will not be able to do much more painting tonight because of that. But see, there's also a Juggalo Baby Yoda feature floating around. That does not surprise me in the slightest. But yeah, I will probably, depending on our availability, we'll probably have up to 3 Baby Yoda Christmas ornaments. 1 in gold, 1 in silver, 1 in copper. So, yeah, like I said, if you want to have a chance of winning that, join me then, and you can spend a little bit of the holidays with me on the channel. So, yeah, I think I'm done here with Munchies and Minis. However, let's go ahead and find you a friend to raid tonight. I'm not sure if Miss Little Red Dot is streaming right now. Probably not. Let's see what channels we have available to raid. Let's see. It looks like we've got the Hunger Service and Cooking for Noobs. There has to be another one. Dice Priory is streaming. Let's see if we get access to my falling over furniture. Dice Priory? Okay, yeah, let's go ahead and raid him. So, no, I don't want to double click there. Thanks so much for joining me on Munchies Mini tonight. You have a great night, and I will see y'all on Wednesday. Catch you later.